Hey, I'm Marta Johnson with Inner Artistry, and I want to talk about anxiety, one of my favorite topics because it's something I've lived with for a long time and have made huge strides forward in dealing with. So, first of all, if you have anxiety or have experienced anxiety, I know how hard it can be. It can just really derail you from living your best life and making your best decisions and how you show up in the world and impact relationships and all. It can have so many ripple effects. So I feel it's so important that we really get to the root of dealing with anxiety because as I've been tuning into it, I think there's two kinds of general strands that we can look at for anxiety. One is this one that's connected to fear of that really something might go wrong. And some people are living in this place of there might be violence. You might lose family members if you act a certain way or disagree. You might become homeless if you can't figure out your finances. So those kinds of anxieties are connected to real fears. And with both strands, I'm going to talk about the second strand in a minute. With both strands, if we can let that fear move up and deal with it and address it and let it move as its own natural waveform, then there's going to be better solutions that come out of it. The problem is that we often go into this place of the anxiety, the fear rises up, and then we smush it down with some kind of thing, whether it's a manager part that's like, I can problem solve this, here's how we deal with it, or firefighter parts that numb it out with food, TV, drugs, whatever. And it becomes this blanket that lays on top of the fear, and then you're not actually dealing with the fear. So, which brings me to the second strand of anxiety, which is the fear comes up, but it's not attached to fears that are real anymore. And I say it that way because all of us in our history have had little traumas, maybe big traumas, and then in our ancestral history, everybody has ancestors who've had major traumas. I mean, just being human, we are tuned into the possibility of how things can go wrong. You've maybe heard this, that our brains are hardwired to notice any potential problem because it's better to avoid the lion and, be hidden in the cave or not living your fullest life rather than make the mistake of not paying attention to the fear and then getting eaten by the lion. Did that make sense? It's better to be safe than sorry is the long and short of it. That's our nervous system perspective. Our limbic brain is tuned to better safe than sorry. The problem is for a lot of us now, we don't need to live in that state. We are not actually on the edge. We are not actually at risk of losing relationships or being homeless or being eaten by the tiger. But we're still living in that way of danger around every corner. And so that's the ancestral and also childhood. You maybe had things that happened to you. Maybe things are ongoing that are happening that are small traumas on a regular basis. But, those things build up in our nervous system too and can lead to nervous system dysregulation. Yeah, so what I'm tuning into now is that this second layer, the second way of having anxiety, which is like attuned to all the potential ways things could go wrong. Our nervous system is reacting as if it's a problem all the time. And then we're coming in with these strategies to soothe or smooth it over, and then it's not actually getting resolved or relieved because it's stuck in this friction place. And one other reason I want to say that it makes sense that we have this kind of general anxiety now is that there are real serious traumas happening in our world. And even if, we're not paying attention to the news, I believe that on some level we are feeling the wars that are happening, the violence in our own country, the poverty that's around us, the illnesses, the poor physical health situation of many people. And so we are feeling that in the air to some degree, and our nervous system is picking that up and saying, there's a problem here, pay attention. And then again, we come in with that layer, that blanket that's like is telling us it's not that big of a deal, or don't pay attention to it, or it's just normal, or we can solve it this way, or just numb out with some Oreo cookies or whatever it is. And then again, we're not able to actually let this bottom layer move and resolve. And the insight that I had recently is that it's almost like a trick. It's almost a trap to, and I don't, know whether it's intentional or not, but the way it's playing out right now is that for those of us who are sensitive and can feel all those things, or who have unresolved trauma in our bodies, it's keeping us small. We're staying safe instead of sorry, but in the long run, we will be sorry if we don't get to live our life to our fullest. If we don't get to be our true selves, there will be a price for that. And the price is just, dissatisfaction, or you get to the end of your life and you have regrets, or not getting to listen to your truest heart's desires, or know your truest heart's desires, or be in connection with your soul and your purpose here. And I think we all need to be in touch with our purpose right now. Like, I don't know about you, but I look around and it's like, it seems like the world is falling apart. Or it seems like there's a lot of problems. I mean, certainly, I'm in Chicago and there are a lot of problems. And I truly believe the best help I can do to help this world at this time is to really know my purpose and to really be acting on it. And I feel like I've known my purpose for a while, which is helping people find purpose, helping people know themselves, helping people heal. But anxiety continued to hold me back until I realized that a week ago or 2 weeks ago or a month ago that it's like self-flagellation when that anxiety comes in. Like, it's the critic combined with fear, and it's beating me up for getting it wrong, beating me up for making a slight mistake, beating me up for provoking a feeling in another person that was uncomfortable. And that it just felt like a trap. And then I was like, oh my gosh, I don't have to feel this way. So I realized now I don't have to make that choice. It's not the default anymore. I can choose to unblend, which is the IFS term for relating to our parts as a part instead of being like believing it's the truth of us. I can unblend from anxiety and I can relate to it from my soul level, my purpose level, my heart level. And it's not that I don't care if I make mistakes. It's not that I don't care if I affect another person's feelings. I still care. But when I relate to it from this other place, it's so much more expansive. I can stay grounded in myself. I can know the truth of me, which is that I am not a bad person if I make a mistake. And so, I've been playing around with this for a couple weeks now, noticing when anxiety comes in and how I can unblend from it. And some days it's easier than others. Some days it's still hard. But I am here to say that if I can do it, you can do it, because I have been working on anxiety for over 10 years. It derailed my musical career. I had to dial way back from being a performer because of anxiety. And I am relating to my entire life differently now that I have been on this path of healing anxiety. So I guess this is just a note of encouragement that it is possible to heal anxiety. It is possible to unblend from it and know that they are parts that are acting in a certain way that makes sense. They have good intentions, but we can relate to them with love instead of believing them. We can relate to our anxious parts with love instead of believing the words they say or the fears that they bring up. And if you would like help with this, I encourage you to reach out to somebody. We can't do this alone. And there are so many wonderful ways to heal now. And the ways that I offer include internal family systems, inner parts work, energy work through AuraTransformation, and musical and creativity coaching, which kind of just brings it all in together. If this is of interest to you, please reach out at any time. Marta@innerartistry.space. Thanks so much for watching. Have a great day.